Ever feel like your body's playing a cruel trick on you? That get up and go you once had feels like it got up and went, right? What I'm about to lay out for you could totally flip your understanding of getting older and losing muscle. Stick with me because the last piece of this puzzle, it changed how I see healthy aging, and I believe it can genuinely help thousands who feel like the clock is ticking way too fast. Here's a hard truth: many of you watching are dealing with what's called sarcopenia. Think of it as a quiet thief, sneaking away your strength and freedom, bit by bit. But here's the kicker, the part they don't shout from the rooftops: this isn't some locked-in fate. We've been told for ages that muscle loss is just what happens. But brand new insights are showing us something that's both a bit shocking and incredibly empowering. What if I told you the hours right before you hit the pillow are golden for holding onto the muscle you've spent a lifetime building, and that eating certain foods then could seriously slow down, maybe even turn back, that muscle decline that makes even simple tasks feel like a workout? I've dedicated 15 years to exploring how both ancient wisdom and modern science tackle longevity, and what I learned about eating before bed. It was a game changer for my older clients. Take Anne, for example. She came to me at 72, barely getting around with a walker, convinced her best days were long gone. 6 months after starting the nighttime eating plan I'm sharing today, she phoned me crying happy tears. She'd just walked 3 miles, no walker. "I feel like I got a second chance at life," she said. So tonight I'm pulling back the curtain on 4 specific foods that, eaten before sleep, set up the perfect conditions in your body to keep your muscles strong. No complicated pills, no crazy diets. Just working smart with your body's own natural cycles, giving it exactly what it needs when it's ready to repair and rebuild during sleep. So, before I spill the beans on these powerhouse foods, you gotta understand why the old story about aging and muscles is just plain wrong. We've been fed the line that after 50 your muscles just shrink maybe 1 to 2% a year, and it gets worse after 70. Honestly, that story mostly helps folks selling fixes for weakness. But it flies in the face of what top longevity researchers are finding. What's really going on is a mix of hormone shifts, hidden inflammation, and crucially a major hiccup in how your body uses protein. As we get older, our bodies just aren't as good at using protein to keep muscles healthy, about 30% less efficient by 65. But here's the clincher: this drop-off isn't steady all day. It nosedives when you're asleep. That's why just hating more protein isn't the whole answer. When and what you eat together matters just as much as how much. Sleep is when your body's repair crew is on duty. If they don't have the right supplies on hand, they can't fix the daily wear and tear on your muscles. So instead of rebuilding, you get breakdown night after night. I saw this again and again with seniors who were doing all the right things: exercising, eating well, getting enough protein, but still losing strength. Then I stumbled on some groundbreaking work from Japanese longevity experts. They were looking into how to protect muscle at night. Their findings totally blew up the old ideas and pointed to a solution that was right under our noses all along. What your body does while you sleep is pretty amazing. While you're off in dreamland, billions of your cells are busy fixing DNA, cleaning house, and rebuilding tissues. But this whole operation needs specific tools and go signal stuff that kicks the repair process into high gear. Without them, it's like a workshop with no tools and no materials. Your main repair manager, human growth hormone, hits its peak during deep sleep. This guy is key for muscle upkeep, but it can't do its job right without the proper food backup. And here's the breakthrough: certain foods, eaten before bed, basically tell your body, hey, protect those muscles. This discovery helps explain why folks in some cultures lose way less muscle as they age. In places like Okinawa, Japan, where people live incredibly long, healthy lives, their traditional evening meals, just by custom, not by design, happen to have the perfect mix of nutrients for nighttime muscle care. Their elders are strong and independent well into their 90s. When I first read this research, I was a bit doubtful. If it was this simple, why wasn't everyone doing it? The answer, as it often does, came down to money. The business of selling mobility aids and treatments for muscle loss is worth over $50 billion a year. There's not much cash in telling people about simple food fixes they can do themselves, no prescription needed. My own path to this started years ago when I was studying with a master at the Shaolin Temple. Master Wu, at 92, could still move like someone half his age. It blew my Western medical mind. When I asked for his secret, he didn't talk about rare herbs or crazy workouts. He talked about respecting the body's rhythms with smart evening eating. The body rebuilds at night what it uses by day, he told me. Give it pebbles when it needs bricks, and how can it build a strong house? That simple idea sent me on a 10-year hunt through different cultures, looking for what the most vibrant old folks ate in the evening. A pattern started to show up, one that modern science is just now catching on to. From Chinese medicine to Ayurveda to Mediterranean ways, certain food combinations were eaten before sleep. We now know these create the ideal setup for muscle repair. But it wasn't until I teamed up with nutrition scientists at a longevity institute in Copenhagen that we nailed down exactly how it works. Using fancy muscle tests and tracking what happens overnight, we saw how specific foods cranked up the body's nighttime muscle building process. The difference was huge. People who ate the right nutrient combo before bed showed up to 34% more muscle protein creation during sleep over 6 months than the folks who didn't. This meant real, measurable gains in muscle, strength, and ability to live independently. Okay, crucial point before I list the 4 foods. Timing is everything. This whole thing works because you're syncing with your body's natural schedule. The sweet spot for eating these muscle-saving foods is about 30 to 90 minutes before you go to sleep. This gives your body time to start digesting but makes sure the nutrients are on deck during those peak repair hours of deep sleep. I've seen so many people mess this up, eating too soon. So the good stuff is gone before deep sleep or too late, and then digestion messes with sleep. Both ways you lose the benefits. You want those nutrients hitting your system right when your body's pumping out growth hormone and doing its deep cleaning. It's like planting seeds right before a good rain. Timing it with the best conditions gives you a much bigger harvest. Your body's the same. Match your nutrition to its natural repair times, and you multiply the good effects. So, with that essential timing in mind, here are the 4 specific foods that, when you eat them in this window, create the perfect storm for saving and rebuilding muscle as you get older. First up, our foundational food. This one might throw you because it's gotten a bad rap in standard advice for seniors, but it's a powerhouse for nighttime muscle care. High quality, slow-burning casein protein. You find it in cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and some protein powders. Casein gives you a steady trickle of amino acids all night long. Unlike whey protein, which is like a quick flash, casein is a 6 to 8 hour slow drip of building blocks for your muscles. This slow release is gold during sleep when you need that constant supply. A major study in a top nutrition journal showed that 40 grams of casein before bed boosted muscle protein making during sleep by 22% compared to nothing. For older folks, that means noticeably less muscle loss over time. People who kept this up for 6 months lost significantly less muscle than others, no matter how much they exercised. What makes casein extra good is it's packed with leucine, the main switch that flips on muscle building. As we age, we need more leucine to get that switch to flip. Younger adults might need about 1.7 grams, seniors might need 0.5 to 3 grams for the same effect. A good serving of casein-rich food hits that sweet spot. One of my clients, David, a former long-distance runner who'd seen his leg strength just vanish despite walking daily, started having casein-rich cottage cheese at night. In 3 months, he told me the stairs at home weren't a big deal anymore. It's not just physical, he said. It's the confidence, feeling strong again. Second, we need to tackle the secret enemy of muscle health in seniors: ongoing inflammation. A little bit of inflammation is normal for muscle repair, but that constant, low-level type really gums up the works for building muscle. That's why our second must-have bedtime food is wild tart cherries or their concentrated juice. These little wonders have compounds called anthocyanins, proven to cool down inflammation and fight oxidative stress. A study in a respected sports medicine journal found that people drinking tart cherry juice before bed had way less muscle breakdown overnight. This is super important for seniors because aging itself tends to turn up the inflammation dial. This constant inflammatory buzz works against all your efforts to keep muscle. By targeting that nighttime inflammation, tart cherries make it easier for your body to get on with rebuilding muscle. Plus, tart cherries are one of the very few foods with natural melatonin. Good sleep is absolutely critical for muscle health. Deep sleep is when the heavy-duty repairs happen. So, by improving sleep and cutting inflammation, tart cherries give you a 1-2 punch for muscle support. I saw this big time working with veterans, many of whom had sleep issues and fast muscle loss. Michael, one participant, had tried all sorts of sleep meds but was still losing strength. After adding tart cherry concentrate before bed, not only did he sleep better, but he held on to the strength gains from his physio much better. For the first time in ages, he shared, "I don't feel like I'm constantly losing ground with my body." Third, we've got to fix a shortfall that hits about 80% of seniors and directly messes with muscles: magnesium. This mineral is a tiny giant involved in over 300 processes in your body, including making protein, muscle and nerve function and energy. As we age, we don't absorb magnesium as well due to gut changes, less stomach acid, and side effects from common drugs. It's a perfect storm. Your body needs more magnesium for muscles but gets less The fallout is serious but often just blamed on getting old, muscle cramps, feeling tired all the time, and faster loss of strength. Dark leafy greens like spinach are magnesium goldmines and are perfect for your pre-sleep routine. Just 1 cup of steamed spinach gives you nearly 40% of the magnesium seniors need daily, and in a form your body can easily use during sleep. What's great about magnesium before bed is it helps fire up your body's rest and digest system. When that's on, your body shifts energy from stress to repair, including muscle upkeep. Magnesium also helps control cortisol, the stress hormone. If cortisol is high at night, it really hurts muscle building. I saw this with Betty, 78, who was told her constant leg cramps and weak grip were just aging. After adding magnesium-rich foods to her evenings, her cramps eased and her strength gradually came back. My doctor couldn't believe it when I improved on all the physical tests, she said. He asked what new drug I was on. He was floored when I said it was just spinach. Fourth, let's talk about something often missed: the support network for your muscles, the connective tissue that lets them do their job. Collagen is the main protein here, forming the framework for muscles, tendons and ligaments. As we age, collagen production plummets, weakening not just skin but the whole muscle and bone structure. This is why bone broth or collagen-rich foods are key before bed. They supply specific amino acids, glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, the raw materials for making new collagen. These are especially useful at night because they help maintain what scientists call tissue architecture. The structural integrity muscles need to work well. Research in a leading British sports medicine journal showed that people who had collagen peptides before sleep kept their muscle function much better than those who had other proteins. The magic seems to be how collagen supports the entire system, not just the muscle fibers. For seniors, this means better real-world strength, the kind that keeps you independent. Grace, an 83-year-old in our study, added bone broth to her nightly routine. She reported that for the first time in years, she could stand up from low chairs without pushing with her arms. It's not about looking strong, she explained. It's about moving through my day feeling capable. Now, what makes this 4-part plan so powerful is how these foods work as a team, each one boosting the others. The slow-release protein gives the building blocks. The tart cherries calm inflammation. The magnesium gets key enzymes working, and the collagen shores up the structure. Together, they hit muscle preservation from all sides. And it's simple to do. About an hour before bed, a small bowl of cottage cheese or Greek yogurt for casein, a 1/4 cup of tart cherry juice or a small handful of tart cherries, a side of lightly steamed spinach or other dark greens, and a small cup of bone broth or a collagen supplement. It takes minutes to prep but gives you hours of muscle-friendly nutrition while you sleep. The simplicity is key. The best habits are the ones you can stick with. I've walked hundreds of seniors through this, and the results are clear: not just better muscle health, but a real jump in quality of life, better sleep, easier movement, and a new sense of confidence. I have to clear up a big myth that stops so many seniors from trying this: the fear of eating before bed. We've always been told, don't eat at night, it's bad for digestion, sleep, and your weight. This sweeping rule has actually hurt aging bodies by starving them of nutrients during crucial repair time. The real story is more detailed. It's not if you eat before sleep, but what you eat. These 4 foods are picked because they help, not hurt, sleep, while giving your body exactly what it needs for overnight muscle care. In fact, Dutch sleep researchers found that the right pre-sleep nutrition actually improves sleep by keeping blood sugar steady and providing tryptophan, an amino acid that helps with sleep cycles. People in their study who had protein-rich, anti-inflammatory evening snacks, like I'm suggesting, slept better and longer than those who skipped eating. This just shows how ironic some standard advice is. The very thing told to us for health, avoiding food before bed, actually speeds up muscle loss and the decline that follows. While these 4 foods are the core, everyone's a bit different. Your health, meds, and how you react can vary. This is where paying attention to your own body is vital. I tell my clients to keep a simple journal: what they ate, how they felt in the morning, any discomfort, and weekly notes on strength. This helps you see patterns and fine-tune things. Some might need smaller portions or to adjust the timing a bit. Others might find certain ways of preparing these foods work best. The main idea is the same: get the right nutrients in that critical window, but you can tweak the details. This personal approach is totally different from the usual one-size-fits-all advice given to seniors. Your body knows best if you listen. That journal becomes a chat with your own system, giving you insights no generic advice can. George, a 79-year-old retired professor who loved being thorough, really got into this tracking. After 3 months, he figured out his best timing was a bit earlier, 90 minutes before bed, not 60, and that warming his cottage cheese slightly made it easier to digest. Tiny changes, big results. For the first time, he told me, I feel like I'm partnering with my aging body, not just fighting it. Before I share the final idea that could really change your whole view on aging, let's talk practicals. I've done this with enough seniors to know the usual hurdles. First, consistency beats perfection. Missing a night here and there won't wreck things, but making this a solid part of your routine brings the best results. Many find linking it to another habit like brushing teeth helps. Second, quality counts. The better the food, the better the effect. Go for organic dairy, cherries without tons of sugar, organic greens and quality bone broth if you can. Your body knows the difference. Third, be patient. Better sleep might show up fast, but muscle benefits build up over weeks and months. The biggest changes I've seen usually happen between 3 and 6 months, as all those nights of muscle support start to add up to real strength. Linda, who joined our program feeling like she was doomed to get weaker, said it perfectly after 4 months. It's like tending a garden. Day to day you might not see much, but look back to where you started, and the change is amazing. Now, for the insight that can shift not just how you save muscle, but how you feel about getting older. This is what changed everything for my clients, and it can for you too. The usual story about aging is that it's all downhill, a steady loss of ability. That story isn't just depressing, it's wrong. What we now know about our bodies shows a much more hopeful picture. Sure, some parts of aging just happen, but losing your ability to do things is mostly about how we live, not just how old we are. Your body is incredibly good at repairing itself even when you're older. If you give it the right conditions like this nighttime nutrition plan, it can hold on to and even rebuild abilities that old thinking says are gone for good. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's backed by solid research from all sorts of fields. What's so powerful about this is it puts you back in charge. Instead of just accepting decline, you see it as something you can influence with your choices, including what you eat before bed. This changes aging from something that happens to you to a journey you actively steer. I've seen this mind shift over and over, and it goes way beyond just muscle. When people realize they can actually affect how they age, everything changes: their plans, their daily habits, even how they see themselves. David, the runner I mentioned, said it best at our 6-month check-in. Realizing I can change how my body ages hasn't just changed my muscles, he said. It's changed my whole outlook. I've stopped bracing for decline and started planning to stay capable. That shift is everything. The biggest takeaway I want to give you goes beyond even this powerful eating plan. It's about a deeper truth about aging that's been hidden by old ideas and marketing. Your body's ability to heal and rebuild doesn't just switch off when you hit a certain age. It responds to what you give it. These 4 bedtime foods, the casein, protein, tart cherries, magnesium, rich greens, and collagen aren't just food tips. They stand for a whole new way of looking at the second half of life. When you eat these specific things before sleep, you're doing something revolutionary. You're saying no to the story of inevitable decline and yes to your power to create a different future. This approach has helped thousands get back strength they thought was gone. But its real value might be the mindset it builds. When you feel your body respond, when you see the real results in your daily life, you build a rock-solid belief in your power to shape how you age. That belief feeds on itself. As you get stronger, you naturally do more. More activity means more engagement with life. It's an upward spiral, the exact opposite of the downward one many are told is unavoidable.